Well, today will be quick. Um, so yesterday I finished the documentation. So today I was separating out vGraph from the vGraph API set of interfaces and kind of going through and doing some refactor and bringing things up to the internal or the vGraph 0.2.0 spec. So most went smoothly. The one issue I had is JSON. If you have an interface as the type of a field, when it tries to serialize or deserialize, it doesn't know an implementation and it can't instantiate. It doesn't know what to instantiate. Um, so that being said, I was kind of leaning towards making commits a part of the API. But if I do that, that means I need validation, which is part of the API. And I had kind of gone back and forth with that on the vGraph API over the last couple days, and had initially kind of decided, no, I decided against it. But I think it's going to be a good idea to do that. The one thing I don't like about that is it puts implementation details in essentially what's an API interface specification. But it makes the most sense for it to be there. It's implementation independent in terms of like blueprints, vGraph, or any other implementation of vGraph on top of anywhere else. So I think that and info and log entry, I think, are going to be concrete implementations, and they're just going to be common. So because of that, I probably have a half day's worth of work to transfer those over to the vGraph API, and then and extract them out of vGraph, the vGraph Java. Once that's done, and I think I have, let's see, I wrote some notes down. Property hash is another one, a vGraph exception. Once I get all those transferred, then it's on to the actual the implementation of the rest of the stuff I added to vGraph. It's like clone, merge, and et cetera, et cetera. So the other thing is I've been wanting to get rid of JSON simple for a while, because it actually included JUnit as a dependency, not scoped to testing, which was really annoying because it just stuck it right in your. I packaged it, and it's like, don't do that, don't do that. So I figured out a way of doing the same ordered JSON list used to calculate the hash in using JSON in a tree map. So I think what I'm going to have is I'll have the vGraph API, and then it will require a version of JSON. I don't want it to necessarily include anything, but that I think that'll work. Let's see, there's that, and then there's the actual SHA-1, which is a codec. I'm fine pulling that from an Apache project. So there's still some things to figure out as to what goes where and how it gets put together, and is there a third thing that is like vGraph commit, or is it just vGraph API? I don't know. Things to think about. I kind of want to get it right this time, and not that I didn't get it right before, but I want to finalize and settle on something. So that's it for today. Probably work some tomorrow. It's a Saturday, but I've got a pretty open Saturday in the middle of the day, so I think I'm gonna work on that. Maybe in the afternoon. But to keep on chugging away, and hopefully by this time next Friday, vGraph implementation will be on 0.2.0 and be good to go on diving into Petri. Take care.